All right, guys, welcome back to There Is No America Without Erica. We all need a little Erica in our lives. There's a case moving through the federal courts right now that could quietly redefine what counts as a firearm in the United States. And it's not getting a lot of attention yet. California is trying to convince a federal court to force the ATF to treat certain gun parts as firearms themselves. Not completed guns, not even finished receivers. And depending on how the court rules, this could have consequences that reach far beyond California. But before we get deeper into this, I want to take a second to thank everyone who's been supporting the channel and helping keeping it going. As most of you know, Matthew's main channel, CRS Firearms, is still permanently demonetized, and that means the merch store and support from viewers are what keeps everything moving. If you've been thinking about grabbing something from onlytechnicalfans.myshopify.com, we've got like MREs, tourniquets, patches, hoodies, all kinds of stuff over there. And seriously, thank you to everyone who has already supported. It means more than you know. I wish I could give you guys all a hug and just somehow give back, but yeah. All right, let's talk about something that is flying under the radar right now, but could turn into a massive Second Amendment fight. Because California is trying to convince a federal court to force the ATF to treat gun parts as firearms. And if they succeed, the consequences could ripple across the entire country. Right now, there is a case in United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit involving California, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, and the regulation of so-called ghost gun components. The case standard when California and the Giffords Law Center sued the ATF. Their argument was basically this: the ATF is not regulating enough gun parts under the Federal Gun Control Act of 1968, and the court should force them to. The dispute centers around unfinished receivers and part kits, things like particularly completed frames, receivers, and the jigs used to finish them. Under federal law, those items historically weren't always considered firearms. California wants that changed. The lawsuit goes back to a complaint originally brought by then Attorney General Xavier Becerra, whatever. Their argument was that the ATF's regulatory decision left a loophole that allowed people to assemble firearms without background checks or serial numbers. In court filings, attorney representing the state argued the ATF's interpretation was irrational. One attorney for the plaintiffs, Lee Crane, of the Giffords Law Center, argued that the ATF's distinction between certain unfinished receivers and others was an arbitrary, irrational, capricious line drawing. California's argument is basically that if a receiver can readily be converted into a working firearm, the ATF should treat it as one. They're pushing the court to say the ATF has legal obligation to regulate those items. And the state also argued that the lack of regulation is costing them money. According to their filing, California claims it has had to spend more resources on law enforcement dealing with crimes involving unserialized firearms. In other words, they're claiming financial harm. And they're using that claim as their legal standing to use, which is fucking crazy. The ATF's the ATF's position is that federal law requires them to draw a line somewhere. During arguments before the Ninth Circuit, a Justice Department attorney explained that if California's theory were accepted, it would create an impossible regulatory situation. Now, according to DOJ attorney Sean Janda, the ATF has to draw a line somewhere in the regulatory framework, because if you take California's argument to its logical conclusion, you could end up regulating almost any object that might someday be turned into a firearm component. And that's where things start to get legally dangerous. This fight is happening in the shadow of a much bigger Supreme Court case. The case is Bondi v. Vanderstock. That case dealt with the ATF's rule expanding the definition of firearms to include certain gun parts, kits, and unfinished frames. The Supreme Court ruled that the ATF's regulation was not facially inconsistent with federal law, allowing the agency to regulate some weapon parts kits under the Gun Control Act. The key phrase in that case was whether something could be readily converted to expel a projectile. That phrase is now becoming a battlefield because California wants to push that interpretation much further. If the Ninth Circuit sides with California, several things could happen. First, the ATF could be forced to expand its definition of what counts as a firearm. That could include unfinished receivers, partially machined frames, build kits, tools used to complete receivers, and potentially even more categories depending on how broadly the ruling is written. Second, it could trigger nationwide regulatory changes, and the ATF would likely have to issue new rules to comply with the court's decision. Those rules would apply across the country, not just in California. Now here's where things get even more interesting, because this fight doesn't stop with parts kits. There's a parallel legal effort targeting digital firearm designs and 3D printing files. And this is where Matthew's attorney, Matt LaRosiere, got dragged into the conversation. LaRosiere has been heavily involved in legal battles surrounding digital firearm files and free speech. The argument from gun control groups is that disturbing those files should be treated as facilitating illegal firearm manufacturing, which raises an enormous constitutional questions. Are those files weapons, or are they speech protected by the First Amendment? And if courts start treating digital blueprints as regulated firearm components, the implications could be enormous. There's also a major legal weakness in California's case: standing. In order to bring a federal lawsuit, the state has to prove it was actually harmed. The ATF argued that California's claim about increased law enforcement costs is exactly the kind of downstream cost theory the Supreme Court has rejected in other cases. Now, if California wins and the court orders the ATF to regulate more components as firearms, the consequences could include more serialization requirements, background checks for additional parts, new federal regulations on unfinished receivers, expanding enforcement authority for the ATF, and depending on how aggressive the ruling is, it could open the door to regulating partial frames, unfinished components, certain manufacturing tools. The legal line between a gun and a piece of metal could become very blurry. Right now, there are three realistic possibilities. Number one, the Ninth Circuit throws the case out for lack of standing. That ends the case. Number two, the court sides partially with California but leaves the ATF broad discretion. That would likely trigger more rulemaking, but not at a massive legal shift. Number three, the court rules aggressively in California's favor. That would almost certainly create a Supreme Court case, because the implications for federal firearm law would be enormous. Now, right now, this case is mostly being discussed in legal circles and written media. It hasn't exploded on YouTube yet, but the moment a ruling comes out, that could change very quickly, because this case isn't just about ghost guns. It's about where the legal definition of a firearm begins. And if courts start moving that line earlier and earlier in the manufacturing process, it could change the regulatory landscape for the entire industry. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. Before we wrap this up, I want to say thank you to everyone who continues supporting the channel. If you want to help keep these videos coming while CRS Firearms is still demonetized, check out onlytacticalfans.myshopify.com. We've got some great gear over there right now, including MREs and tourniquets. And also there's links down below like Amazon, and even when you click on the link and don't shop for what's in our little store thing, just because you clicked on that link, we get a little kickback from that. So we greatly appreciate that. And all right, guys, stay safe, and until next video, peace. All right, guys, welcome back to There Is No America Without Erica. We all need a little, quietly parts, and depending on how the court rules this. Now, before we get deeper into this, I want to take, there's a piece of hair right here. I can feel it. It's driving me nuts. The lawsuit goes back to the lawsuit in courts filing an arbitrary, irrational, capricious. What in the mother of all supposed to pronounce? Capricious line drawing. An arbitrary An arbitrary irrational, capricious. What in the mother of languages? What is that even a word? An arbitrary No. An arbitrary, an arbitrary, irrational, oh, mother of, let's go. Let's just go. Flow. Flow. Aunt Flo is here. I'm just joking. Aunt Flo is not here. Oh, that's just, gosh, I don't make sense sometimes. An arbitrary, irrational